Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be speaking about the Ventura County music scene. And joining us is Courtney Panton from the Ventura Music Hall. Welcome, Courtney. And what can you tell us about the local music scene?
Well, the local music scene, in my opinion, I think it's doing very well. It's growing. What's important to me in any area is that the younger generation is thriving and also just pulling from like the older genres. And that's what I'm noticing, even going around town. And just sometimes there's even local music on the street. I see the high school, the kids, they're doing the marching band stuff. And I like that. There was like a parade and they were going through the community and just boosting the music scene and the people that I'm knowing. Like the town is thriving. The town is really thriving with music, and I'm loving what the kids are doing. Like I said, the younger generation, they're going to be the future generation. And if they're doing good things, I think Ventura will be in a great place.
Good. And can you elaborate a little bit more on the idea of the younger generation pulling from, whether it's classic music or the older generation, however you want to describe it?
Well, there's this new genre that I'm in tune to now because I love like older classics, and now there's something that they call souldies. It's a combination of soul music and oldies, and it sounds like these kids are finding studios from the 60s and 70s, the way that this music is sounding. And that makes me feel good. I'm a middle-aged person, so like I love to see like younger kids still upholding, what my parents and their parents used to listen to. And it's like, we need that recycling all the time, every so often. And I'm really happy that that's happening.
Yeah, cool. And I'm wondering if you could elaborate a little more on the idea of, for instance, the marching bands. And I state that because I happen to love marching bands, and I was in one a long time ago. But until you mentioned it, I hadn't really drawn a correlation between, the sort of very established traditional marching band sound versus, let's say, contemporary or modern music. So I wonder if you could tie that in a bit more.
Yeah, well, I live like close by one of the high schools here in town, so I hear them practice. And for me, I'm a musician as well. Like my band was started with my dad, and just knowing that kids are still doing it, because sometimes you look at instruments like it could potentially be like a lost thing. Like people really put in the time and effort in on the craft of music. A lot of people just want to run straight to the microphone and sing, So for me, how I was raised, learn an instrument, and seeing that culture is still alive and thriving. Like it's important to the local scene, even for people my age to see that kids are still doing this. It's important. It's like reassurance that, okay, there is a scene here. There is music lovers and enthusiasts here, and maybe there's still people who are, letting kids know, like, yeah, this is still a golden thing right here, the root of music.
Good. And let's talk a little bit, maybe a little older, but let's just say, I'm going to say kids, but, folks in their early 20s, late teens, who are actually going out into clubs. And what are they listening to?
Well, the temperature that I get in Ventura, when I first moved here, there were three main genres that there was a general consensus on: punk rock, outlaw country, and reggae music. Those three are really doing well, and it's across the ages. Even for places that I went to around town, I love the diverse age range of the people that come to these concerts. There's no limit. I've seen babies with their headphones on getting into what's going on. And it's just amazing, you know. But there's a big indie scene. That's the real biggest scene for the age range, specifically what you were talking about, from like the 14 to 20 to 21. Like, just that scene is really thriving, especially in that age range.
Very good. And how about let's say jazz and even classical music? Is that something that you see the younger generation having an interest in?
I haven't seen that much here. I really haven't seen that much here. Like,
Okay.
for me, back in my days in New York, it was more like a high school thing, you know, a high school jazz band. That's where I was surrounded by these musicians. So again, that's kind of what I saw the marching band, so I was able to visually see it and identify that okay, there are kids out here that care about the music and the instruments. And me personally, I identify the drums as the root of music.
Very cool. Courtney, do you have a broad enough experience geographically where you might be able to sort of compare the Ventura County music scene with whatever, LA, Orange County, Santa Barbara, or that kind of thing? Is it pretty similar, or are there notable differences?
I think, in my opinion, I think the indie scene is really the one genre that encompasses all of the surrounding counties. You know, from what I see here, even travelers that come through, some friends that come through, and I'm always trying to be in tune with what's going on. So I'm the guy who goes down the street and I'll randomly ask somebody, "What kind of music do you like? What does Ventura like?" You know, and just it depends on the age range. You know, that's really what it depends on. A lot of the younger kids, they love the indie stuff, like I was saying, and then maybe people more like me and older, I like jazz and R&B, like just really paying attention to players of music.
Very good. And in terms of, let's switch maybe to the perspective of musicians who want to perform out in the community. Would you say that there are, growing opportunities or maybe declining opportunities to get your music out in the world?
It's tough.
Mm,
It is tough. I will say that because, you know, they're just the houses for these musicians, the future musicians, you know, a lot of them aren't here anymore. You know, the houses that made these artists from young, you know, these platforms, whatever they are. But in turn, now this is the big digital age. So, you know, those physical stages turn to digital stages for you to still have even greater outreach, you know, because before social media, it was a different ballgame trying to get your music out there.
very cool. Courtney, we're just about out of time here. I wonder if you could share the website for the Ventura Music Hall in case people might want to find out more. And do you have a final message for the viewers?
Um, Keep supporting live music, keep supporting future artists, nurture the younger generation, because again, they will be the ones that we're listening to later on. And go to VenturaMusicHall.com when you get a chance.
Okay, excellent. Thank you kindly, Courtney. We're going to end off here.
All right.
This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.